Oppose for opposition's sake. Opposition only knows how to throw stones. So what is the SDP solutions? These are just some of the accusations that have been leveled at us by the PAP and its supporters. The truth is that since I came into politics 30 years ago, we have been proposing alternative policies, many of which, I might add, have been copied by the PAP. In fact, in my book Dare to Change, which I wrote in 1994, I had a section which spelled out the various alternative proposals to PAP's policies in areas from housing, education, CPF, etc. As I promised, in this video I will highlight solutions of how we can bring down the cost of living at this present time and raise the quality of life for us in Singapore. Below are 5 broad proposals which can help do this. Let's begin with the first one. Stop wasteful spending. The reason for the government to raise GST came from Mr. Lee Hsien Loong himself. What will make you need to raise GST? Profligate spending and irresponsible, unsustainable plans. That is what will hurt and require you to raise taxes and GST. Touche, Mr. Lee. Stop wasteful, profligate government spending like the $40 million on the abandoned Simply Go debacle or the Founders Memorial costing $235 million, which is effectively a PAP self-glorification project. The nearly $1 million on a rubbish collection center, or blowing the budget for the Youth Olympic Games by nearly $300 million, and now experimenting with a questionable $556 million ERP 2.0 system with onboard units that motorists hate. But not only should we not raise the GST, let's get rid of GST altogether for necessities like basic foodstuff, medicines, and school supplies. For the super rich who think nothing of buying a Rolls Royce or Gucci bag or Rolex watch, knock yourselves out, please. But raise the GST on these items to 10, 12, or even 15%. Also, reintroduce a state duty for those with properties over $20 million, as well as enact capital gains tax or wealth tax for the super rich. The second issue that we must address to ease the cost of living of Singaporeans is to lower housing costs. We can do this by introducing the SDP's non-open market system in our public housing policy. Now, under this policy, Singaporeans only pay for construction and development costs for BTO flats minus the land costs. We estimate that by removing the so-called land cost, we will effectively halve the price of our HDB flats. This will enable Singaporeans not to spend so much of our CPF money on their flats, thereby leaving us with enough to live on when we retire. And when you want to sell your flat, you have to sell it back to the HDB at the purchase price less the lease decay. Existing flat owners can choose to convert their flats into NOM flats and get a refund from the government, subject to price caps, of course. And new buyers can also choose to continue to buy their BTO flats in the open market category. As it currently stands, Singapore's housing is, according to Demographia International Housing Index, seriously unaffordable. Remember, this is public housing we're talking about. Now, many resale flats have reached crazy levels of over $1 million. We simply cannot go on like this and put our younger generations of Singaporeans indebted because of public housing. The third way to raise our standard of living and improve our quality of life is to significantly reduce the number of foreigners coming into the country. I've explained in previous videos how the continued increase in the number of foreigners adversely affects our productivity growth, which in turn negatively impacts on our wage growth. Reducing our reliance on foreigners will also boost Singaporeans getting hired for meaningful and well-paid jobs, thus raising our quality of life and enabling Singaporeans to better cope with inflation. A less crowded city also means more green spaces, which means less stressful lives and better mental health for all. Now, in order to raise productivity and foster an innovative society, we must reform our education system by teaching our children how to think instead of what to think. And move away from rote learning for the sake of exams. In the age of AI, it makes absolutely no sense to make our students memorize information and cram for exams. Instead, we need to inculcate critical thinking skills and cultivate questioning minds and attitudes. This will facilitate the development of innovative and productive society, which brings me to my fifth and final point. In order to increase innovation and productivity in our economy, which in turn is the only way to increase our quality of life, the PAP must open up society instead of continuing to instill a climate of fear in Singaporeans by using laws like POFMA and defamation suits. I've said it many times before, and I will say it again. Fear and innovation are sworn enemies. A government bent on censorship and instilling fear among the people cannot hope to create an innovative and productive society. Listen to Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, who said that a creative organization like Apple could not have emerged in a place like Singapore. Look at structured societies like Singapore. Where are the creative people? Where are the great artists? Where are the great musicians? Where are the great writers? Of course, these proposals that I've cited are not exhaustive, nor am I able to go into great detail in such a short video. I invite you to read SDP's policy papers and my books. I take pains to produce these videos to break things down for you and make some of these issues easier to follow. As a voter, it is important that you stop thinking that the opposition does not have workable and better ideas for Singapore. Now, I've spent the last 3 decades of my life trying to persuade you to see what the alternative looks like by writing books, publishing SDP a website, and making videos like this. I do this with one and only one objective: to keep you informed so that you don't blindly support the PAP. And I do this not by spouting propaganda, but by providing you with facts and reasoning with you so that you can make an informed decision when you cast your vote at the next general elections. Remember, your vote determines how you work and live, what kind of education your children receive, how you live your retirement, what jobs you get, your quality of life. In other words, your happiness. Voting is such an important act, and the last thing you want to be is be uninformed or misinformed and vote blindly, or worse, vote out of fear. Now, if you think that what I'm doing is important, then help me spread the word. Talk to your family and friends whenever you guys get together. Have discussions with your colleagues over lunch, share with them my videos, organize discussion sessions. If you want to, get in touch with me. Drop me an email at sdp@yoursdp.org or come down to Orange and Teal. I'd be happy to discuss with you the issues that I've raised. I'll see you on my next video. Bye-bye for now.